Hi there, my name is Kendrick, and today I get to interview Jason. So, Jason, welcome.
Hi.
So, Jason, can you tell us your full type, please?
Yes, my full type is INTP Ti-Ne, consume, sleep, play, blast, and double feminine.
All right. And when you got your results back, what did you think and how did you feel?
Uh, Honestly, I didn't feel surprised because it's like I kind of type myself like almost the same, but as an observer. So I'm only surprised about the decider part, but after I've been processing, it's pretty it's pretty clear. Like after I accept the fact that I am an decider, like the world, everyone else, like people's type, make more sense to me. So I think like the type I get is like it's good. It's correct.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So, you originally thought you were a decide observer, sorry. That means you thought you were an ENTP, perhaps? Um,
Yeah.
okay. And then now you have gotten a chance to process your type, and turns out you're a decider. That means you have people problems. How did you come to terms with that? Like knowing that, oh, it's not things I have an
Uh,
issue with, it's people.
because like it is people's problem, though I so like when Dave and Shan talk about like people trying to lie to themselves, like people's brain try to lie to themselves. I like I don't want to look at the people problem. So I was like, oh, that's not my problem, but it is.
Oh, I see. So you
Yeah.
were double observing, thinking that the observer was the problem. Really, you're avoiding the real problem.
Yeah. So and also the word makes more sense. Like therefore some people like they just care about like little things that it's not worth caring about, in my opinion. I was like, why do they care about these things? It's like so irrational and so like unimportant. Like why do they make that so much? And then I got my type back and I'm processing. So like, oh, okay. So those are the observers. So so I'm the decider. So that's why I like sort of like think their problem is not a big deal because and the problem I think are big deal are decider problem and I don't want to look at them.
Right.
But yeah,
And then
and
the observers are like, the people problem. That's not a big deal. Who cares about people?
yeah, and so so like for me the people problem is like it shouldn't be a big deal according to the observer. For like for me, I used to think like, oh, it's not a people problem that because it's because it's important. It's not because like it's a decider problem. So I just assume it is important and it's important for everyone. And yeah, so yeah, people can see themselves like
So I want to ask you, so the first question I have for you is how did you get into personality typing? You know, like what brought your interest uh into it to begin with?
yeah, MBTI, and then yeah, it's a little bit embarrassing. It's like I'm playing like League of Legends, and then I saw a video like they said like in this character is an ISTP, like Yasuo is an ISTP, and I was like, this personality thing is interesting, and then I took an like online test in the notorious 16personality.com, and then I started to watch a bunch of videos, and then I found like definition and objective personality. Yeah. Also, like so the 16 personality result, so I get is INFP. So it kind of prepare me to face the fact I'm an decider, because like mm, uh, when I was first watching Dave and Shan and they talk about the observer and decider, I was going into it thinking that I'm INFP. So I kind of like prepare myself to face the reality that I am an observer. I am a decider, and then I just try to. Then my brain just try to like convince me, okay, the 16 personality is not real, so it's not accurate. So you might not be an observer, and the people problem is not your real problem. And then I just type myself as like decider. Then I type myself as observer, and then but when I get the like official results, then I'm actually an decider, like for real.
Well, the two types that you thought you were, INFP and ENTP, when you merge them together, it's INTP, right? So it's kind of like
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it's kind of
sort of.
it's like in the ballpark area. Um, anyways, I do want to ask you about the TI and FE axis first. So Dave and Shan, they've been kind of making fun of you guys, saying that the TI people, they want to do the work, and then after the work is done, then the tribe can clap and can have the celebration after. Do you relate to that sentiment? Where like, yes, I will do all the work
Like
myself, and then later the tribe can celebrate me, you know.
like actually yes, like it's so like I don't want to be like it's like it's embarrassing, but it's true. Like so like work on a project, then show the tribe, and then the tribe is like, wow, that is so great. And that's like in my imagination what's gonna happen.
Right.
Yeah. So just I can't I can't relate to it. Although like I don't want to admit it, but since like it's all about like facing your demons, so yeah, I have to
Yeah.
admit it.
Well, I mean, as long as you are aware, that's not
Yeah, I
a
also
bad thing.
like relate to the elegant thing, like they once say like the people who do woodwork, they will like hide the nails, like like they put nails. Is that the correct pronunciation? Like nail, like put into the wood, so to
Oh, the nails.
yeah, nails.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew I was pronouncing it wrong. So like they will put some wood on top of the nails to cover it. And so although I don't do woodwork, like the, I like feel like I can relate to it, because I just want like I want to do the all the work, like the sort of ugly part, and then cover it up with some FE like things that people like value, and then like show it to the tribe, and then
Oh, it's like Apple or like Tesla, It's like,
uh
they're all made by INTPs, right? You know?
yeah,
Yeah, PC, So um okay, the one crazy thing about like that the TIFE is like, you want the tribe to celebrate your success. But I feel like when you do get the FE, the FE is fake. So like, how does that make you feel knowing that it's fake? Like they're clapping at like at you. Let's say you succeeded something and people are clapping and stuff, but they're not really clapping because they want to celebrate you. They're just clapping because it's like the socially appropriate thing to do. So how does that make you feel knowing like that's actually what happens? Because like when I go to work and someone did a good job and everyone's clapping, I don't really give a shit, and neither do my coworkers. It's just like we gotta clap because it's like the right thing to do. So how does that make you feel knowing like you know, that it's
Like I haven't, yeah, I actually haven't got time to think about that question.
right,
Is so first, like I didn't get much clapping though, like although it's a socially appropriate thing to do, but also like because I'm too stuck in my like introverted world, like too stuck on my DI, like I when I'm like finally showing to the tribe, like I'm too nervous to think about whether their clapping is real or fake. Like
right.
yeah, so I haven't got time to process. It might be a problem coming later.
Maybe after you get your first clap, the second one you'll be like, it's not even a real clap because the first one you're too nervous, like you said. Um, let's go over your parts then. Let's start with your NT consume. You're double activated, NT consume, double masculine as well. How do you personally experience that specific animal?
Uh, anti-consume. Yeah, I I don't know. I not used to thinking about it like in like anti-consume way. Like so because I feel like when I'm consuming everything, not just I'm also I mean when I'm consuming, I'm also consuming sensory like SE, and I also like use sort of like FI, like the value. I also use that. So I don't particularly feel like that there's things like anti-consume or like TISI sleep. Like I don't know why. I just don't relate to them at all. But I know a lot of people like use them. So that I'm things I'm trying to like figure out. But yeah, but I mean, sorry, I do not like sort of relate to those.
Well, it makes 100%
So
sense why you don't relate to it. For me, it's like no brainer because like your consume's double activated, it's double masculine, so your net for consuming is
yeah.
diverse. But people who has like demon consume, they tend to only be able to consume that specific flavor of consume. So let's say Dave, his consumes SF, right? So he likes to watch like stupid SF stuff, you know, because he's consumed
Well,
glass. So so the position of your consume does affect on like the net of like what you would consume. Of course, everyone watches SF stuff. Like you'll watch like a movie and stuff, you know. So do I.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you mean like it's mostly affect people with like demon consume?
Well,
Like oh, I think I'm doing it right now maybe. Like because I watched some of your videos and like people just didn't get into the so what does it mean of terminologies like the NT stuff, and now when it comes to myself doing the the conversation, and it suddenly became all about what does it what does an NT consume mean, and what is how does savior demon do. So yeah, maybe that's true.
well,
I mean
I mean,
like
your consume is NT, so it's problem solving. So if you come across like any problem that you need to solve, then consume is your default answer to find the solution. And then
oh
you might think, oh, that's obvious, but no, because other people who don't have anti-consume, they're not going to consume for a solution. They might, for me, I have anti-play, so my first default answer is to ask the tribe for the solution because that's the position
oh
where my NT is. It doesn't mean I can't consume NT stuff. I will after I bug the tribe. I'm info dominant after all, so I have to consume because I might think the tribe's full of shit, right? So I'm gonna go consume afterwards just to validate what they told me. Um, but but it's different based on the position of your consume. Like if you have anti blast, for example, then you're gonna have to produce to learn the solution. So the production, the feedback from the production will give you the solution essentially to whatever problem you're trying to solve. You know,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I actually like my default is to go to like try to learn it. Like so currently the first thing I do is like look online if there's a YouTube video for it. Like if I face any problem.
Your next animal is sleep, and your sleep animal is ST. So it's like block banging.
Oh, so this is
It's like SITI.
yeah. So oh, so blocking is like sensing and thinking.
Right.
It's got blocking. I
Yeah.
heard that term a lot, but like I thought it was TI. Just it, like thinking in general is blockbaiting, but you seem to suggest that like it's TI.
It's not
If
TI, it's
uh,
ST. It's ST.
it's ST.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So ST is blockbaiting.
Right. So it's,
Yeah,
building something in the real world essentially, something that works, you know. So um I've always felt like if you want something that's going to last long term and it's going to work in the physical world, then you need someone with SITI to engineer it. But like if you're working at McDonald's and you want a burger, you don't want an SITI to serve you the burger because it's taking fucking forever. You need someone with TE. Just put it together and give it to the customer. But if it's something that like a rocket ship, then you need someone with SITI because then you've used your TI and also the SI to have several layers of to complete this complex design to make sure that everything works flawlessly. You know what I mean? And then at that point, you do deserve your
yeah,
clap. You deserve your clap. You're probably gonna get a real
yeah,
clap if you do build like a rocket ship. Not
yeah.
like a fake clap.
If I finally do it, yeah, I think that one I do that too. Like so when it comes to sensing, like I know that like I when I'm doing things myself, I'm like sort of less open when I try to like build something, process something. Like it's I will have like a time where I will collect a lot of concept like NE, but when I'm trying to do it, like I usually don't want to stick to something like this. That's like that's my understanding of SITI sleep.
Well, your sleep is also personal. So when you're building this kind of stuff, it's gonna be personal for you. That's like the biggest difference with the ISTP and INTP. Is like with the ISTPs, their consume is ST. So they're gonna look for instructions step by step or how to guides on how to do something, but they want to figure it out themselves. While for you guys, INTPs, the solution is something that you consume, but the design itself, that's personal. So you can see there's like that underlying difference. Because for like the ISTP, the design itself
Yeah,
that's not personal. The figuring art part, that's the personal part, right? Um, and then also because when you're constructing something, or engineering something, um, that's also a form of competency. So that means what's private for you is how competent you are. Being incompetent is something that you would not want to be. That's why a lot of people who are like, let's say ESFJs, who's your opposite type, but in the same quadra, like they would be very insecure about being incompetent because a lot of them have demon SITI.
yeah.
It's also personal, so they're not gonna ask for help, which makes it even worse.
Mm.
Because then obviously you're not getting feedback.
No, I'm insecure too. Like so is Savior, but so is like because it's saver, but it's like lead function, the TI. So I feel like I'm sometimes I'm pretty insecure. So you know when people say like TI is competitive, like I know like what I'm trying to say. So I used to think that I'm not competitive, and then I realized I'm actually competitive, but like I'm also insecure about my like I'm insecure about being incompetent. So I try to like not engage in some competitive situation when I know that I'm not gonna prevail. So like if for example, if there are people playing football, like I'm not good at football, so I'm not gonna participate in it. So and so at first I thought the explanation is like I don't like competitive. I'm not competitive, so I don't play the football. And and now I know that I'm a decider. So I realize it's kind of like I'm too competitive that I can't handle the fact that I'm worse than most people. So I just try to avoid it.
Right.
Like,
Football, you mean soccer,
yeah.
right? That's what you mean by football, right?
No, I'm bad at like I'm thinking soccer in my head,
Yeah.
but I mean I'm bad at both of them, so it
Multiple
doesn't
footballs.
really matter.
Well, you're not an ISTP, so you're not gonna be as
Yeah.
good in sports as those guys. But they probably envy your intelligence because INTPs are known to be the smartest, right? So, um,
Mm. No, the thing is like um you're like the smart thing is like, but there are people who are smarter, and also like when I was like very like when I was a kid, like there will be like teachers say that this kid is smart, but there will also be like like I don't know. So that part I'm also insecure because there's always people who are like absolute genius. Like there are people who are smart but also good at sport. So this is the thing that I process that like I spend a lot of time process. That's how I like triangulate that I'm a decider. So like I spend a lot of time like I would argue like I waste a lot of time thinking about these stuff. Like am I good? Like I'm people say I'm smart, but there are people who are smarter than me, but also good at sport. Oh, I therefore I'm bad. But then that I don't know. Like it's also like not FE to say talk about these stuff. So let's not talk about it. But this is how I know that I'm decider after I got the result.
it's hard to be a consume sleep INTP. One of my best friends is an INTP also. Um, he actually met David Chan in person back when they used to do meetups. So lucky him, you know. So he's a consume play though. So I noticed the consume play INTPs have a lot less problems to consume sleep because the high play makes them want to like play sports with a tribe and not for the sake of like just being competitive, but just because the FE you want to connect with your friends emotionally too, right? With the FE in the bottom. So like
Yeah,
my buddy who's like an INTP, but savior play. He loves being with a tribe. He'll even tell me he works for Amazon, so he'll be like, "Oh, they told us to work from home, but I like to go to the office to hang out with my coworkers." You know, but he still has this other problem.
yeah,
The only difference he has savior play, so he loves being with people, right? So it's like you have a curse there by having a play
yeah,
class as a demon, because then it's harder for you to be with a tribe, you know.
yeah. I know that But I actually think you're right that like being with, so my play is not like last.
Right.
So so that's like, I don't know, it's good or bad, but like, do you know there's like there's other people who also do the typing, like there's a group called like cognitive resolution.
Yeah.
They type me as maybe same as you. It's like NET and like play, consume, like and play and wait, play, consume, uh, sleep, blast. Yeah, that also double family. So it's not the furthest thing, right? So but like after I got that result, because like they are pretty confident about it, because all like it's same as like the Dave and Shan's process. Like all there's 4 people like in different room and they type me at that.
Yeah.
So I was sort of a little bit convinced. Also, I really want to be that type. Is that same type as you? Like,
I'm NETE. I'm also in NT like you are, but I'm play blast, consume sleep.
oh,
So
play glass.
I'm
So
play
it's
blast. Yeah.
not so not exactly, but like I really want to be like the NET. So I
Yeah.
was sort of convinced, and then I was like, since I'm NET, so I should be enjoying spending time with people. So I then just there's a period of time. Actually, I'm still doing it right now, and I just like go out and hang out with people, and it felt pretty good. I also like start doing some sport like badminton,
Oh, nice.
and and then I and like then I just like try to, because I thought I was TE, so I just try to get over the fact that I'm bad, and then I actually find myself I can enjoy it like a lot.
Yeah, good for you, man. That's a good thing. There you go.
Yeah,
You're learning. You're using
so
your
I
third animal now, which is great.
so 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 they mentioned always making fun of peacocking, but they also like they said it's good
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
peacock.
For sure,
So
man.
yeah,
Peacock all day. That's a good thing. It's a good thing.
yeah, so it's sometimes it's good to get mistyped because you like you were thinking that your demon's your savior, then you do
Right.
have some of your demon.
Right. Hey, at least they knew you were blast last, regardless of um
Yeah.
getting you type as something else. Yeah, I was part of that group briefly, so I know all about the 4 people typing and stuff. Um, let's see. Your play is NEFE. So it's not NET, but in that ballpark. So not too far. Um, so because your play is NF, it means you gain purpose and meaning from collaborating with the tribe. Would you say that statement is true? Like you feel like when you are with a tribe, you feel like you have a greater purpose and meaning in your life, especially when you hear stories about like what your
Oh,
friends are up to, when they tell you, hey, this is what I'm passionate about, this is my goals, this is my aspirations. Like, do you feel like inspired, motivated? Do you enjoy that interaction of like discussing what you're passionate about and what you're into and whatnot?
yes, I think so. I so I didn't never look into, I mean, not never. Because like I didn't think about things like NF play means that I never thought about it. But it's actually sort of true because I'm I based on like my like when if people ask me like what is the like meaning of life, I it's about like it's tribe related for me. Although like I'm studying my TI all day, I won't say the purpose of life is to come like is to build something and then become the best and like make everyone else below me. Like I won't say that. Like it's the purpose of life is like tribe related. So it's like, yeah, maybe there's an EFE play. Yeah, I do relate to that.
And then your last animal, this is no surprise to anybody. Everyone who's type you has known that you're blast last. You probably were not surprised when you knew you were blast
Uh,
last. Um, so there's many parts to blast. You know, there's teaching, there's getting started, um, organizing your known information to teach to the tribe, right? But the big one I want to ask you is the SF part. So your blast is SF, SIFE, which is the same as the blast that ESFJs and ISFJs have. So because you're blast last, I don't see you doing this, but typically what SF blasters would do is they would tell you what is socially appropriate. So let's say a very good example is table manners, for example, right? So let's say like you're all eating and you're not using the right utensils, and you know you don't have let's say the cloth, you don't have it on your lap to make sure you're not making a mess, using the right utensils for each dish.
yeah,
That's like etiquette. That's like SF blast right there, right? You're like, hey, make sure you're doing this. And then when you, or let's say you're in front of like important people, right? So you're Asian, so I don't know what it is like in you're Chinese, right? Right. So
yeah,
yeah.
Chinese.
So like let's say you work for a big company, right? Like the big boss comes in, everyone has to stand up, right? Because that's like the proper etiquette, right? For example, like this is just an example. I'm not saying you're doing this, but so there's like certain etiquettes that you have to follow depending on where you are. If you're in front of like let's say the British royal family, then you need to bow, right?
Yeah,
To the king and the queen, right? That's like the proper etiquette. So, but in the form of blast, then it's like telling people, hey, make sure you're bowing to the king or queen, or hey, you're being socially inappropriate. Make sure you watch your mouth, or watch your behavior, or say please, say thank you, like those kind of stuff. Like,
uh,
but there's also the
mm,
positive side to it. Like, let's say you have friends over,
I
and then
know. I really like is I really grateful that there are people who tell me those things because like it's since it's demon, I'm paranoid of those things. Like so for me, it's like, should I use this utensil or should I use this? Like, should I even though like that, let's say like the kings and queens came here, like should I bow or it's like it's not appropriate to bow. Like maybe like they will say like, well, you're not part of you're not in England, you're not British, so you shouldn't bow. And if you bow, and will make everyone awkward. So I'm like really like paranoid of those things. But that's also like telling people what's appropriate is in itself not FE. So nowadays people you tend to not do it. So it makes me more paranoid of that. So yeah, so just last week, like there's someone like just told me that I went to someone's house and I just like they told me I can like eat something, ask me if I want something, and then I said no because I actually don't want something, but then afterward I do want to eat something, and then I just didn't ask, and then that was a long time ago, and nobody say anything, but like just last week since I was doing the playing with tribe stuff, and they just think that maybe I can handle it. So they just told me that actually the thing you did like a while back wasn't appropriate. And
oh, when
I
you said
was,
no to the food. Oh,
yeah,
that's funny.
sort of like I steal their food, but But I thought like since they ask me if I want anything, that means they welcome me. So like so like they say I should feel at home, so I should actually feel at home, but then I should still ask. So yeah. So so I do think those I actually like really as like SF blast. Just tell me what's appropriate. Yeah, because I can like so since I'm like savior and like that's like high on openness, so I can handle some like a chaos from the tribe. But in terms of the not chaos part, so I'm always like I struggle to find what's the appropriate the norm of the like when I'm around other people, and it's get worse when the current culture is like they are trying to like abolish the norm, but the norm still exists. So what result happening is like people don't talk about the norm, but the norm still exists.
Right.
So it's like higher risk for me to like offend more people.
Right.
And yeah,
Yeah, no, 100% right. Like the norm is still there. It's just not spoken to because you can get in trouble by
yeah,
talking about it, but it's still there.
yeah,
It's not going away. So in that case, you have to use your NF play to read the vibe of the room. And then it's not concrete, but you can feel it. So my friend
yeah,
consume play INTP, he knows when something is awkward. Like he has like a gut feeling that something is awkward, and that's because he has savior play, right? He still can't put it to words because he's blast last, right? So I sometimes I have to remind him, and he's always like happy if someone like pointed it out to him. But it's like I think the best way to describe what NF play is, it's like spider sense. Like Spider-Man knows there's like danger, like the spider sense is tingling.
yeah,
So that's like NF play. Like you need to develop your like spider
yeah,
sense, almost like something's wrong. I don't know what it is, but I know something's wrong. Then
yeah. But
yeah,
it's not dangerous. It's like spider sense, but for awkwardness.
yeah,
Like I can
exactly.
feel the awkwardness, but I don't know how to do appropriate thing to make it not awkward.
Or just ask the tribe. Be like, I know something awkward's happening, but I don't know what's happening. You know, I mean, you have TI, so maybe it's
Yeah,
harder.
but if you ask the tribe, then it's like you point out the awkwardness and it makes things more awkward.
No, it doesn't. Actually, it breaks the awkwardness.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, and actually, it's funny.
actually,
You're like, you could be like,
yeah,
I'm
it's
feeling awkward right now, but I'm not sure why. And then people will be like, and then it'll break the ice and it'll destroy the awkwardness. It's really good actually. Sometimes you just have to
oh
verbalize
yeah,
it. Yeah, it's not a bad thing.
yeah. I should do that more.
Yeah, yeah, just do it. It's actually funny, especially you because you're an
Mm,
NT nerd, right? So people
yeah,
automatically know. Yeah, it's like it's not a surprise that you would not know what's socially appropriate. Like no one is if you bring it up, no one's gonna be surprised that you don't know. It's kind of obvious. Oh,
mm,
you're an NT nerd. Yeah, no shit. Of course you wouldn't know. You know, like they'll go
yeah,
up to you for science or math kind of questions, but they're not gonna go to you for like social etiquette. Of course not. It's kind of obvious.
yeah.
All right, dude, let's talk about your sexual modalities. So you have tester and you have visual. Um, your tester is smell. And yours is SI. So instead of like being super aggressive with trying different stuff, I mean you still will, but not as aggressive as the lead SEs or those with extrovert sensing. It's more like you have favorite smells or tastes. Can you talk about your favorite sense and favorite taste? You know,
Uh, I actually like did look up the word. It's like is is it like rhinitis? I have that, so I kind of can't. So like, there's something wrong with my nose, so I can't.
you can't smell
Mm.
anything.
No, it's not like I can't smell. Like it's like it's sometimes blocking some of it.
Sinus? Is that what you're?
So I'm
You have like a congestion or something, a nasal congestion.
Mm, I don't know. So I don't because like I go over some of your videos and I look what question you're gonna ask, but this one I don't I don't feel particularly like relate to it. I do like some of the smells that is different from others, but I don't think I'm too sensitive to that. Maybe because like it's it's like you uh let me look for the word. It's like RHINITIS rhinitis rhinitis. So so like I so like my nose sometimes just go into a state where like the all the smell and the like all the smell just dial down a bit. So I just don't so so I don't use that as much.
Well, it's fine. No, no big deal, man. Let's go over your visual then. Last question for today's interview is your visual. Do you have a visual memory, would you say? Or do you learn best by seeing?
Mm, yeah, this part actually I don't know. I think I learn best when I use everything, like when I can see it and then I hear people explaining it, and then I also try to do it myself. So so I don't feel particularly like like there's a there's there's just there's like people there's a question like which one which senses do you use do you think is the most important? Is it like is visual or is it audio or is like smell? And for me, it's like visual is the most important, but also it's so it's for everyone. Like people will say that being able to see things is the most important. Yeah. So, but I, but I also like noticed one thing that maybe connect to this. Like I always want to have my glasses on because I'm not that like mm, the nearsight. That's so like I can see a lot of things without my glasses, but I always want to have them on in case I miss any details and stuff. So so and I noticed there are some people who like whose like eye is like same as me or sometimes even worse. They just don't gonna bother to put their glasses on. But I always want to like try to see uh, everything, have everything like the in case I miss anything. Yeah, so maybe that's visual.
Well,
Mm,
you can also have your preference when it comes to which of the four sexual modalities that you prefer to utilize. So it's or four senses. So, just because something is your default doesn't mean that's gonna be your
yeah,
preferred one. Um, but anyways, we'll wrap up the interview here. So, Jason, thanks for coming out and doing this interview and sharing more about yourself as the mopey blast last
mm,
INTP.
yeah. Thank you for having me. Like because I'm like I know that I've looked at some of the interviews like to like have like to sleep process, like to prepare like should what to expect. And I find like a lot of the EJs they 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 have people type them, like people in the community. They just they will type them and they just have their guesses before they got typed. And I just realized like it's just like my type suggests like I'm always like not part of the tribe. Yeah, like even in the OPS community, like I found out the Discord like like really like I got into OPS like fairly early this year, but I only found the Discord later this year, and that time I'm like a little busy, so I didn't interact with the tribe much as well. So thank you for having me.
Yeah, for
So
sure, man.
yeah,
All right, take care and have a good night.
yeah, yeah, you too.